Welcome to Yakutia, where winter temperatures plunge to minus 60 degrees Celsius, making this corner of northeastern Siberia the coldest permanently inhabited place on Earth. Here, a remarkable people called the Saka have not merely survived but thrived for over 7 centuries, creating a culture uniquely adapted to conditions that would seem impossible for human civilization. The Saka Republic stretches across 3 million square kilometers of frozen wilderness, a territory larger than India itself, built entirely upon permafrost that extends hundreds of meters into the earth. For 9 months each year, this land remains locked in winter's grip. Yet the Yakut people have transformed these harsh conditions into their greatest advantage, developing innovations found nowhere else. Unlike their neighbors who hunt and fish, the Yakut brought an extraordinary vision to the Arctic. They would raise horses and cattle in a place where most livestock would perish within days. This decision, made by their ancestors who migrated north from Lake Baikal in the 13th century, would define their entire culture and force them to innovate in ways that still astonish researchers today. The Saka horse represents one of humanity's most remarkable achievements in animal husbandry, a breed capable of surviving temperatures that would kill Arabian stallions within hours. These compact, heavily furred animals grow thick winter coats and develop layers of insulating fat, pouring through meter-deep snow to reach frozen grasses that sustain them when green vegetation disappears completely from the landscape. Yakut cattle possess similar adaptations with dense fur coats and metabolisms that slow during winter months, allowing them to survive on minimal food when fresh forage vanishes beneath the snow. The Yakut spent generations selectively breeding these animals, creating livestock that could withstand conditions no farmer in temperate lands would believe possible, ensuring their people had milk, meat, and leather year-round. Traditional Yakut architecture reveals genius born of necessity, with homes called balagans constructed to trap every degree of precious heat while withstanding the extreme cold that makes ordinary buildings uninhabitable. Thick walls combined clay, earth, and cattle dung for insulation, while the entire structure sat elevated on wooden pillars to prevent the warmth inside from melting the permafrost beneath and causing collapse. The most ingenious feature of Yakut homes might be their windows. Blocks of perfectly clear ice, carefully harvested and shaped to fit wooden frames, allowing light to enter while providing better insulation than glass. These ice windows transform the dark winter months, bringing natural illumination into living spaces without sacrificing the warmth that meant the difference between comfort and catastrophe in the frozen darkness. Inside these insulated sanctuaries, a central hearth burned continuously throughout the winter, its precious heat radiating through the carefully sealed space where families gathered for months on end. The Yakut developed elaborate systems for managing smoke and maintaining air quality, ensuring that the same fire that kept them alive didn't suffocate them. A delicate balance refined over countless generations of Arctic winters. Summer brings dramatic transformation as the Yakut migrate to lighter dwellings called urasas, conical structures covered in birch bark that can be assembled and dismantled quickly as families follow their herds to fresh pastures. These portable homes represent the other half of Yakut life, designed for mobility during the brief, warm months when the landscape explodes with growth, and livestock must move constantly to find the best grazing. The construction of an urasa demonstrates traditional craftsmanship passed down through generations, with long poles arranged in a precise circle and bound at the top, then covered with carefully prepared birch bark sheets that repel rain while allowing air to circulate. Families can erect these temporary homes in hours, creating comfortable living spaces that honor their semi-nomadic heritage during the productive summer season, when every moment of warmth must be utilized. Yakut clothing represents another triumph of adaptation, with traditional garments crafted from multiple layers of fur, leather, and fabric designed to trap air and create insulation against the deadly cold. Men and women wear long coats made from horse or reindeer hide with the fur turned inward, covered by outer layers that block wind. creating a microclimate around the body that allows them to work outdoors even in the most severe conditions. The traditional Yakut hat, with its distinctive ear flaps and fur trim, protects the most vulnerable parts of the head from frostbite, while the wearer maintains full mobility and vision. Every element of traditional dress serves multiple purposes: decorative beadwork marks, social status, and regional identity, while practical design ensures survival, blending aesthetics with function in ways that modern cold weather gear still attempts to replicate. Footwear called iterbes features multiple layers of insulation, with inner boots of soft fur worn inside harder outer shells, creating air pockets that trap warmth while allowing moisture to escape and prevent the dangerous dampness that leads to frostbite. The Yakut learned through hard experience that keeping feet dry and warm meant the difference between maintaining mobility and losing toes to the relentless cold. Food preservation techniques developed by the Yakut turned the extreme cold from enemy to ally with the invention of stroganina, raw fish or meat frozen solid and sliced paper-thin, creating delicate ribbons that thaw instantly on the tongue and deliver intense flavor. This method preserves food for months without spoilage, transforming the brutal winter into a natural freezer that keeps provisions fresh until spring finally arrives. The preparation of kumis, fermented mare's milk, demonstrates the Yakut genius for creating nutritious foods from available resources, with this slightly alcoholic beverage providing crucial vitamins, probiotics, and calories during the long months when fresh vegetables remain impossible. The fermentation process requires precise temperature control and careful tending, knowledge that mothers pass to daughters in an unbroken chain stretching back centuries. Blood sausage called khan utilizes every part of slaughtered animals, with blood, fat, and organ meat combined with wild herbs and grains, then encased in intestines and frozen for storage throughout winter. Nothing goes to waste in Yakut food culture, where the harsh environment taught people to value every calorie and nutrient, transforming scarcity into culinary tradition that modern Yakut people still cherish and prepare. Ice fishing provides crucial protein during winter months, with the Yakut cutting holes through meter-thick ice to reach the waters below where hardy fish species continue their lives in the dark, cold depths. Fishermen must work quickly in the extreme cold, using traditional knowledge of fish behavior and ice conditions to locate the best spots, then preserving their catch in the natural freezer of the Arctic winter. The brief summer explosion transforms Yakutia into a land of abundance, with the tundra erupting in wildflowers and berries that the Yakut gather frantically, knowing they have mere weeks to harvest before winter returns. Women and children collect cloudberries, blueberries, and cranberries by the bucket, preserving them in various ways to provide essential vitamins during the long months when fresh fruit becomes a distant memory. Haymaking occupies entire families during summer, with every able person working to cut, dry, and stack the grasses that will sustain their precious livestock through 9 months of winter, when grazing becomes impossible. The quality of the hay harvest determines whether animals will thrive or merely survive, making this summer work absolutely critical to the continuation of the Yakut pastoral way of life. Traditional Yakut blacksmithing holds special importance, with smiths creating the knives, axes, and tools essential for survival in an environment where equipment failure can mean catastrophe, and replacement parts remain thousands of kilometers away. Master smiths were regarded with particular respect. Their ability to work metal in extreme cold and create tools that wouldn't shatter in freezing temperatures, representing knowledge accumulated over generations of trial and error. The craft of working with birch bark demonstrates Yakut resourcefulness, with artisans creating everything from waterproof containers to decorative art pieces from this versatile material harvested from the forests that dot the landscape. Birch bark resists decay, repels water, and can be shaped when fresh, making it ideal for countless applications in a land where materials must be harvested locally and utilized fully. Yakut silversmiths created distinctive jewelry, featuring intricate designs that identify the wearer's clan and status. with techniques for working precious metals, refined over centuries to create pieces that combine beauty with cultural meaning. Women's traditional ornaments include elaborate chest pieces, earrings, and hair decorations that transform special occasions into displays of craftsmanship and family heritage preserved in silver and semi-precious stones. The Isyak festival celebrates the summer solstice with the entire community gathering for days of feasting, dancing, and renewal, marking the moment when the sun barely sets and warmth floods the land after months of darkness and cold. This ancient celebration connects modern Yakut people to their ancestors through rituals that honor the sun, bless the kumis, and reaffirm community bonds essential for surviving the isolation of winter. During Isyak, participants perform the Osuokai, a traditional circle dance where hundreds of people join hands and move together in rhythmic patterns while singing, creating a powerful sense of unity and shared identity. The dance moves clockwise, following the sun's path across the sky, with steps and songs passed down through generations, each movement carrying meaning that connects dancers to their cultural heritage and the land itself. The blessing of kumis forms the spiritual heart of Isyak, with designated community members offering the fermented mare's milk to the spirits of the land and sky before anyone else may drink. This ritual acknowledges the forces that govern survival in Yakutia, expressing gratitude for another year of life and hope for continued abundance, linking the Yakut people to cosmic cycles that dwarf individual human concerns. Olonkho, the traditional Yakut epic poetry, represents one of the world's great oral literature traditions, with master storytellers reciting tales that can last for hours or even days, describing heroes, spirits, and the creation of the world. UNESCO recognized Olonkho as an intangible cultural heritage in 2005, acknowledging its significance as a living tradition that preserves ancient knowledge, values, and worldviews in poetic form passed from generation to generation. Master Olonkho performers train for years to memorize thousands of verses and master the distinctive vocal techniques required to bring different characters to life, transforming a single storyteller into an entire cast through changes in voice, tone, and gesture. These performances educate young people about proper behavior, explain natural phenomena, and preserve historical memory, serving purposes both entertaining and essential in maintaining cultural continuity. Traditional Yakut spirituality recognizes a world filled with spirits inhabiting every element of nature, from the great sky deity Urung Ar Toyon to the spirits of individual trees, rivers, and rocks. This worldview shaped how the Yakut interact with their environment, treating the land with respect and performing rituals before major activities like hunting, building, or moving camp, maintaining relationships with the spiritual forces they believed governed their survival. Sacred places dot the Yakut landscape, with certain trees, rocks, and lakes designated as dwelling places for powerful spirits where people leave offerings of horsehair, coins, or ribbons to request blessings or express gratitude. These sites create a sacred geography that layers spiritual significance over the physical landscape, reminding people that they share this land with forces greater than themselves that must be honored and appeased. The modern Yakut people navigate between traditional practices and contemporary life, with many maintaining elements of ancestral customs while embracing technology and modern conveniences that make Arctic living more manageable. Families might live in centrally heated apartments in Yakutsk, yet spend summers in traditional Urasas, following herds and practicing the pastoral lifestyle that defined their ancestors, blending old and new in distinctive ways. Yakut. Language preservation efforts ensure that younger generations can still speak Saka, a Turkic language with unique features developed in isolation from other Turkic peoples for centuries. Schools teach in Saka alongside Russian, while radio and television programming in the native language helps maintain linguistic diversity, ensuring that traditional knowledge embedded in the language structure itself doesn't disappear as modernization continues. Contemporary Yakut artisans continue traditional crafts, creating birch bark containers, silver jewelry, and fur garments using techniques passed down through generations while also innovating new designs that appeal to modern sensibilities. These crafts provide income while maintaining cultural traditions, with the growing interest in indigenous arts creating markets for authentic Yakut handicrafts, both within Russia and internationally. Horse breeding remains central to Yakut identity, with communities maintaining herds that descend from animals bred over countless generations to survive Arctic conditions, valuing these hardy creatures both as practical livestock and as living connections to ancestral traditions. Modern Yakut breeders work to preserve pure bloodlines, while also exploring ways to share their unique genetic stock with researchers interested in cold adaptation. The warming climate brings both opportunities and challenges to Yakutia, with permafrost thaw threatening traditional buildings and infrastructure, while longer summers allow for new agricultural possibilities that previous generations never considered. The Yakut find themselves adapting once again, using the same innovative spirit that allowed their ancestors to thrive in extreme cold, to navigate environmental changes that are transforming the Arctic landscape. Urban Yakutsk, founded in 1632, now houses nearly 300,000 people, making it one of the largest cities built on continuous permafrost, where every building requires special foundations to prevent collapse, as interior heat radiates into the frozen ground. The city represents the modern face of Yakut culture, where traditional dress appears alongside business suits and ancient festivals coexist with contemporary arts and entertainment. Despite urbanization, many Yakut families maintain connections to the land through seasonal migration, leaving cities each summer to join relatives at traditional pasture grounds, where they reconnect with ancestral lifeways and teach children skills that sustain their people for centuries. This pattern of seasonal movement preserves cultural knowledge while allowing participation in the modern economy, creating a distinctive blend of urban and pastoral life. Traditional Yakut music features distinctive instruments including the komus, a type of jaw harp that creates haunting overtone melodies, with virtuoso players using breath control and mouth shaping to produce complex sounds from simple metal reeds. These instruments accompanied storytelling, shamanic rituals, and personal expression, with each region developing characteristic playing styles that marked cultural identity through sound. The annual Pole of Cold Festival celebrates Yakutia's status as Earth's coldest inhabited region, with visitors from around the world traveling to witness temperatures that drop below -60 degrees and experience firsthand the extreme conditions that the Yakut people have mastered. The festival showcases traditional customs, foods, and survival techniques, transforming harsh climate from hardship into point of pride and international curiosity. Reindeer herding, though less central to Yakut culture than horse and cattle breeding, still occurs in northern regions where conditions prove too harsh even for hardy Saka livestock, with some Yakut families maintaining mixed economies that combine various forms of pastoralism. These northern herders represent adaptation within adaptation, showing how Yakut culture remains flexible enough to incorporate successful strategies from neighboring peoples. Traditional Yakut medicine utilized plants, minerals, and animal products found in their environment, with healers developing treatments for frostbite, snow blindness, and other conditions unique to Arctic living. Modern Yakut people increasingly interest themselves in this traditional knowledge, seeing value in remedies refined over centuries of experience, though always in combination with contemporary medical care available in clinics and hospitals. The midnight sun phenomenon during summer creates weeks when daylight never truly fades, allowing intensive work during the brief growing season and fundamentally altering human rhythms in ways that outsiders find disorienting. The Yakut adapted their activities to these extreme light cycles, working long hours during summer abundance and withdrawing into quieter rhythms during the dark winter months, when minimal daylight requires different patterns of life. Ice road networks connect remote Yakut communities during winter, with frozen rivers and lakes becoming highways that allow travel and transport impossible during summer, when these same routes turn to impassable water and marsh. These seasonal roads demonstrate how the Yakut transformed winter from obstacle into opportunity, using extreme cold to create transportation infrastructure that serves scattered settlements across vast distances. Contemporary Yakut artists draw inspiration from their heritage, creating paintings, sculptures, and installations that explore themes of Arctic survival, spiritual traditions, and the relationship between humans and the extreme environment that shaped their culture. This artistic production brings Yakut perspectives to national and international audiences, translating traditional worldviews into contemporary visual language that communicates across cultural boundaries. The resilience of Yakut culture through centuries of change, from Russian colonization to Soviet collectivization to post-Soviet transformation, demonstrates the strength of traditions rooted in deep environmental knowledge and community bonds that transcend political systems. The Yakut maintained their identity through all these upheavals, adapting when necessary, but preserving core elements of language, custom, and worldview that define them as a distinct people. Today, the Yakut people stand as testament to human adaptability and cultural endurance, having transformed the world's harshest inhabited environment into a homeland where traditions stretch back centuries while communities embrace futures shaped by technology, climate change, and globalization, proving that survival requires not rigid adherence to the past, but the courage to innovate, while honoring the wisdom of ancestors who first learned to thrive, where others would merely freeze.
Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our upcoming videos.